Last week, Aiden source code generator for package JSON version constant. So we have the constant in only a single place. Today, 7/23rd, 2024, while I'm thinking about it, on Thursday, there won't be a meeting because I'm traveling back to Seattle. 2024. No meeting on Thursday. 25. Thursday. 25. Topics. We have the Victoria topic. I think I saw Victoria.
Yes.
Okay, let's do the Victoria topic. What can it be about?
Oh, you can guess.
I don't know. What's your specialty?
I think we can go with the Orchard Harvest conference.
Okay.
So I wanted to mention to all the listeners that the Orchard Harvest conference, if you haven't heard about it, is an annual gathering for the OrchardCore community, offering insights into the latest features and trends and fostering connections among the developers. And this year we will have this annual gathering in Las Vegas, the Orleans Hotel and Casino, on the 12th and 13th of September. And you can find all the important information at the orchardcore.net. And I also wanted to mention that we have a discount for early bird tickets until the 15th of August. So don't hesitate to buy your tickets and come to the conference to meet a lot of us. And also there are a few members of Lombiq Technologies who will join as well. So it will be a really great time, and I hope that a lot of you can join us.
And I see the schedule is on the website.
Yes.
I think that's new. Newish. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
What do we have? Harvest. Topic. Any demo today?
Yes.
We have yes, it's Zoltan. Who said something?
It was me.
It was Zoltan.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do that too. Or do you prefer to do it now so you can leave, or will you stay the whole meeting?
I will stay.
Okay, so you'll go after the status. Might be short, so don't worry. Updating the status. Updating fork before that. Oh, that's quick. Surprisingly quick. July 16. See how slow it is, just fetching the updates from a week ago. Okay, so what do we have here? I'll resume a little bit. We have Verify double click here. Removes an unneeded reference to resource management options in RequireSettings. Oh, yeah, based on my comment last week. Oh, and now it restarts. What? No, it doesn't restart. Just telling it should restart, but it doesn't. Yeah, we don't need the option. We just need to clone all the properties here. And that's actually even more accurate because this way we take into account all the changes on the properties and don't overwrite them with the values in the options. Thank you, George. Fix the theme footer in dark mode. Like every week we fix something in this one. That's weird. Fixes that the media library uses the wrong file extensions. The media library uses the wrong file extensions. Allowed extensions. Allowed extensions as a hidden value so we don't lose the value. Wrong property. Allowed extensions, new property. Okay. Some JavaScript HTML issue that will not reload the extensions if they were changed.
If you have multiple media fields with different settings, it won't change the allowed extensions.
Interesting. Interesting edge case.
It was applied only once.
Yeah, always the issue with composability of editors and JavaScript. That's to be injected once, even though we have multiple editors, but should handle all the instances independently. Interesting. Semaphore instead of block in DefaultShapeTableManager. We talked about it during last triage. Interesting discussions about how to fix that and what not to fix. And that's the fix. Suppress check for unhandled security metadata. Check suggested by Kevin, and we said we trust Kevin. Font 1 updated font awesome 6.0. I believe that's a huge bump. No, not a huge bump. Okay, a small bump. Lots of files to change every time. However, fix the queries document in the queries UI to be able to disable features that use queries without having issues to deserialize the queries document. So now the queries document or something in the queries document is an entity that has properties like content items have parts. This thing has properties, and if you have a property named Lucene metadata or Lucene query metadata, then you are Lucene query. Technically, you can be both or as many queries as you want, but you can't. And that was a hard, yeah, lots of commits, of discussions, finding the correct solution. It was not as easy as I thought. Helpful entity extensions. So this one using the type, container alter using the type. Where do we have that? Same thing, same thing. So that's the only one here, alter, that doesn't take, that optionally takes the property name, I believe, because we still need this one, but by default, this is the name of the type. Minor cleanup on 2.0 release notes. So what is this branch? Is it released then? Or is it just a work branch that will be merged to main when it ships?
This one, it'll be merged to main, and then we'll create, because we're not ready to release yet.
Okay. And clean up all recipe handlers. When we create them, we could even say that maybe, can we say that they are internal or private? I believe we can.
I believe we can make it internal, not private, but internal. I think if we leave them public, we can actually give someone the ability to remove them if needed.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, you disable the feature, then that's weird to just remove a step. But okay, it doesn't hurt much. Okay. Correct zero length check. I see, because if it's null, it will say false, and then, but it's actually true in this case. Okay. That's interesting. So yeah, this is not equivalent. That's what you say. Like in this case, queries equals null means there is nothing to do. Length equals 0, there is nothing to do. That's why you say queries equal null or length equals 0. But if we say if queries and queries equals null here, then this will be false. And then we will not return.
And if the condition is greater than or less than 0, then you're fine to do it in one line. But because you're checking for a 0 to make sure there's null or 0, you have to specify it like that. I wish we have an analyzer to prevent this because it's a common mistake.
That's something I will write, and probably I wrote that, and that's actually wrong. So I need to see it. Sorry. I need to see it. Because
if you look at the issue, I actually wrote some examples of what works and what doesn't work.
I will write it. I will write it. I have this bug, and I'm not the only one to have it, but it's never fixed.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah, and so many people have reported it. So here we have an array. If array I'm not seeing anything on my screen. Sorry. 1 second. I need to increase the light. Yeah, I still have battery. So this one, obviously this returns, oh yeah, false because array is not null, but we have length. If I put null, so array null is still false, the same thing like that. But now if we say
Equal no. I think you wrote, if not, no.
now we got true, okay. And then we want true actually. So what if we write if array is not null, so that's the same thing. If array is what's the syntax like this?
Funny thing, I tried to do that same
Please don't
syntax
do
and
it.
I got,
I
yeah,
hate that.
exactly. I hate that
What?
syntax.
No, I
You
just
try
wonder.
array.length because I tried it. I tried the same exact thing you're doing right now, and I got pissed because I'm like, I can't guess the syntax,
Thank you.
and I can't read it.
That's my point also.
Yeah,
But you
I
know, there
can't guess
is
it, and I
like
can't read it.
is null, or you can write something like this here. But what is the syntax here? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I spent 10 seconds, and I was like, okay, I don't care anyway.
You're right.
It's just a way to make C# less readable. It's annoying. I don't know why they do that, but
Something like that will work. Is array is null, or that's another way to do that. Yes, I agree that this line you understand what you read. It's easy to write, and when you read it, you know exactly what's happening. But there is another stack. Okay, so thank you for fixing this.
And
yeah,
do
and
you
fine.
know? Does anybody know why the syntax I put into the chat doesn't work?
Okay, let's see.
In this case, items.any.
because it's null, it's not false.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be null. I think it should be a nullable boolean, no?
No, that's the same thing as that length equals 0. It's just because you have the exclamation, the question mark. If this is null, it will say, oh, false. But that's not what you want. You want to say if it's null, then it's still true in our case. But because it sees that, it doesn't even go further. It says, no, this is false, return. So let me show you actually what's happening. And that's very interesting because we'll see that very explicitly. So if we take the code that we tried, that Mike fixed, this is if array. This was like this, right? Length equals 0. And what we can see what is the generated code actually. C#. It says and what we want is an or. That's why. So that's why I say that as soon as it sees that here, if it's null, it says no, it's false. And that's exactly that. If it's null, then this is false. Then the end is not even evaluated. It just shortcuts everything else. It goes there. So yeah. So this is non-intuitive.
All right.
So yeah, so good catch. And I bet like you look for something like this on grep, and let's see how many, like, well, I'm sure we'll find orchard if we have 5 instances. Is orchard at the top? Orchard is not even at the top, but and maybe as that's actually what you want, like if it's null or length equals 0, then you want to throw. Oh, but this is wrong here too, right? Like
Yep,
if there
that's
is
all
no
wrong.
service ID,
Yep,
if there
that's
is
all
no
wrong.
service ID, it should throw, but it won't throw. It will just say false, so it will go away, right? So I will find an issue in the runtime, and I bet they will create an analyzer. There is one I created last time. We had an issue, a similar issue. Or maybe it was not orchard, and they created an analyzer to let. No, I think it was in orchard. We fixed a tricky bug like this, and they created an analyzer. Oh, I remember. Remember the JSON serializer instance that we were not caching? JSON serializer options. It was not static, and we saw the perf go down crazy on the charts, and then we fixed it. And I did a grep to search for everyone who were not using static JSON serializer options. One was in ELSA, Sitke fixed it, and I found a few others. And I mentioned that to Steven Tubb, and he said, okay, yeah, because people are not aware that you have to cache it, otherwise there is a lock inside that will slow your app like crazy. And there is a new analyzer now. So if you create a new JSON serializer options instance, it will tell you to make it static. Yeah. Oh, look at this one is right, but kind of useless, because if it's not null, then you don't need the check here. Skia sharp, same thing. Yeah, I bet every time someone writes this, it's got totally wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong. And I'm looking at it. There's also MS build issues.
Yeah.
I'll probably look
Crazy.
at them and submit a PR.
I was there. Update MemKit, no. MimeKit. I'm like, yeah, what is MimeKit? MimeKit. Resilience. So why do you have to update it? Why isn't Dependabot doing it automatically, or did you precede Dependabot?
Because the bot wasn't working, and this was a vulnerability, so I updated it, and then
What do you mean
Zoltan
it wasn't
fixed.
working?
It wasn't
The bot?
running. It's supposed to run once a week, and it wasn't.
Mhm.
And then Zoltan fixed it, I believe, because it
Because I
ran
see then
after.
Yeah, that part, yes. It's not perfect
So what
yet,
did
but
you
at
fix?
least it's run. I switched it over to run under GitHub Actions because previously Dependabot originally runs as kind of a special process. But lately, you can switch it over to run as a GitHub Actions action and also show up there, and it's more reliable that way.
Okay, and why isn't it appearing on the Git changes? Is it something that you set up in the settings?
It's a repository setting, so yeah, that's not a configuration in the file. Soon enough, everybody will have to use that.
Set up with saved passwords. Okay, so does it mean it was not supported before? It's just documented. Okay, it's documentation. Good. Yeah, because there is no reason it's not supported. Nice addition.
Yeah, now basically you can run that, what you see there, and you will get auto setup for all Core clones, which is really useful if you're doing a lot of work with a lot of contributions.
bump the all dependencies groups, and then this one is updated now. But when you use greater than, it works. Because that's what you want. Because if it's null, it's not greater than, so it will use a false, which is the same thing as this one. Okay. Oh boy. And then this update, because I updated Parlot, and then Mike tried to update shortcodes, but it failed because it found some issues in Parlot. Some code path that none of the tests in Fluid or YesSQL were using. So now it's fixed, and also updated all the usages with the new overloads. That's cool. Awesome. Zoltan, number 2, demo.
Not this time. I'm just visiting.
No, but you're the number 1.
I am the number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I knew Zoltan number 1 before Zoltan number 2. Sorry. Your turn.
Can you see my screen?
I can, so everyone.
Great. So my demo will be about our Core API client project. This project is about, it's a client library for communicating with the Core web APIs, and currently it contains an implementation for the tenant and content management APIs. I think I already did a demo about this project, but back then we only had the tenant APIs covered, but now this is a new addition, the content API as well. I won't bore you with all the details. Basically, we are using the built-in OpenID feature for authorization, and this is extensible. So if you want to, you can also implement your own custom API calls very easily. I will show you briefly the code. This is the contents API client class, which is derived by the API client class. This is an iDisposable, and we are basically just implementing this. And if you want to, as I said, extend this, you can easily extend it with your own custom stuff as well. This is the interface which implements the content API calls. We are using Refit, yes, because it makes the API calls easy, and it's a type-safe REST library. And this is the base class for every interface which implements the API calls. And we have a little program.cs here for demonstration purposes. I will show you it in action. This just creates a tenant and sets it up, and later it will also edit that tenant, and finally it will just create a taxonomy and create or edit that taxonomy's display text. So I just enabled the necessary features for it. As I said, we need the OpenID, and specifically we are using client credentials flow. And as you can see, there is only the default tenant, and we don't have any content items yet. But if I will run the tester application. It should create the necessary stuff, and as you can see, it created and also edited the new tenant, which we have here, and it also created and edited the taxonomy as well. I think that's pretty much it. But if you have anything to add, Zoltán, feel free to say.
Not really. Thank you.
Why didn't you use the API to enable all the necessary features?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
You said I enabled the necessary features before you run the code.
Yes, we have a recipe for that, but I didn't want to make the demo longer with also running that recipe.
But you could have used an API to enable all the necessary features.
Oh, I see. I see.
That's cool. It made me think about something totally with no value, but that's a funny story. So last year, when we worked on .NET/extensions, where HTTP/Resilience is coming from now, using Poly and all the .NET extensions, the new .NET extensions repository, there was a feature to generate some HTTP client code to do API calls from interfaces. And then we were like, but isn't it what Refit is doing? And the people who wrote it looked at Refit and they said, yeah, that's exactly the same thing. So we cut the feature totally from the repository because Refit was already doing everything, if not in a better way. So it was cut off the project. So Refit is cool. So I like the fact that you use it. Source generating. Yeah.
And there's also a tool called Refitter that can generate refit code for your API from a Swagger OpenID definition.
Yep. I'm sure some people don't get the distinctions. That might be something to talk about one day to show Refit. Or if you don't know Refit, just look at what Refit does and then Refitter, just to understand what it's very simple in terms of concept, but super useful. That's cool. That's cool. Thank you. Questions, comments? Do we want to do something for 2.0 release?
Zoltán, any idea on how much left for upgrading the e-commerce? Because I think that's the only thing that's holding us. We're trying to get better testing.
Shari is the one who can talk about that. I don't know, sorry, but it's always that there's some issue. We fix that. We wait a day for the preview package to be out, and then Shari tries to get back to it. So it's always a few days after release.
I don't think I understand. So is there we don't have a timeline just yet?
I mean that when she bumps into something that needs to be fixed, then it's always a couple of days until she can resume the work, because until it's out in the preview package and she can get back to upgrading the solutions, because in the meantime she's not just waiting around but doing something else, a couple of days pass.
We wait.
Yeah, but we wait how long?
Oh, we wait until.
Yeah, again, I don't have specifics. Please ask her.
Okay. I'll ping her again.
You can use previews in the meantime. Do we ship previews for B2? Yeah, we do. Main is the preview. Pull request. We have that's it. Everything is ready for release 2.2. We just need some verification from the commerce. And Sarah already found some issues, so we have to wait. Nothing else is blocked on that. 39, I think it's even less than last week. A few of them probably could be closed because they don't make progress and it would be too hard to do. I don't know. 2 pages, that's good. This one should be in. I don't know what's missing from that, but last time we saw that it was working.
By the way, you are not sharing your screen. If you are
Oh, sorry. I was showing so much nice content. So I was looking at data localization because I think it should have been merged a long time ago. I don't know what's blocking. I hope that's not what should be blocking. But it will be in 2.1. Anything else? Okay, see you next week. Zoltan, I mentioned in the meeting at the beginning. I'm not here on Thursday. I'm traveling.
All right, thanks.
So see you next week. Bye-bye.
All right, bye everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.